Joining me now is author and political commentator Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
When God looked at man, he said it's not good for man to be alone. He gave him a woman. He didn't give him a village. He didn't give him the community. He said, be fruitful and multiply to this man and this woman. So it's supposed to be God, husband, wife.
If you always do what you always done,
I'd rather
you will
die
always get what you always
There's a guy, by the way, who's on the Supreme Court that sits in one of those big robes with her. And
Hello, and welcome to Shaking My Head with Shemeka Michelle. I am your host, Shemeka Michelle. And today we are talking about the new Black Code, freedom over approval. But before we start, I want to share this with you because I found it fascinating. And of course, I also put him on the thumbnail today. So let's talk about the Supreme Court Justice, Mr. Clarence Thomas. Let me get to the part I want to start. Taking this from the Rubin Report. Here we go.
question.
Judge, it's a tough day and tough night for you, I know. Let me ask, do you have anything you'd like to say before we begin? I understand that your preference is, which is totally and completely understandable, that we go 1 hour tonight, 30 minutes on each side. Am I correct in that?
That's right.
Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Senator, I would like to start by saying unequivocally, uncategorically, that I deny each and every single allegation against me today. If they're going to kill me, they're going to kill me.
So you'd still like to serve on the Supreme Court?
I'd rather die than withdraw from the process. Not for the purpose of serving on the Supreme Court, but for the purpose of not being driven out of this process. I would not be scared. I don't like bullies. I've never run from bullies. I never cry uncle, and I'm not going to cry uncle today, whether I want to be on the Supreme Court or not.
Man, that is chilling.
I absolutely loved that. So all week, we've talked about how Blackness has been weaponized, used as a tool for political control. Used as a tool for political control. But here's the question. What do we do now? If the Black Code is to obey or be erased, then maybe it's time we write a new one, built on freedom, not fear. Because being truly free means being willing to stand alone if you have to. Again, I want to welcome you to today's show. I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Hi, Ida Bear, Realtor, Navy spouse. Thank you for reposting the stream, and thank you for the reminder. Be sure to hit the thumbs up, like, comment, share, repost, whatever it is, and subscribe. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, because I'm seeing a lot of people watching that aren't subscribed. And if you are watching on X, if that's your usual place, I do appreciate you, but I'm asking you to consider starting to watch on YouTube or Rumble. Hi, TJ. Thank you for being here. Let's get it. Let's talk about let's recap this week, the old Black Code, obedience disguised as unity. This week, we have called out Barack Hussein Obama and the way he actually endorsed Abigail Spanberger, who is running for governor of Virginia against Winsome Sears, the current lieutenant governor. Abigail is white. Winsome Sears is a Black Republican. And we just discussed how Barack Obama and the NAACP, who's supposed to be the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, actually endorsed the white woman. After just last year and many years before that, ridiculing Black people, telling us that we have to vote for the person they consider most like us. Remember Barack Obama when he chastised all of the Black men? He told them, Kamala grew up like you. She knows you, went to college with you. She understands your pain, your joy, and your struggle. And she said Barack said she always has had to work harder to overcome. He said there should be no question about who you're voting for, painting it as if the vote should automatically go to Kamala because she was a Black woman. He went on to chastise the men to say, don't let me call Michelle. It was like they brought Barack in because here he's a Black man, former president. Everybody loved him. Everybody thought Barack was, their dream knight in shining armor. So the Democrat Party, thought Megan Thee Stallion isn't working. Cardi B, that's not working. Oprah's not working. Let's call in the big dogs. Let's bring in Barack. And then Barack threatened to bring in Michelle if people were confused about who they were voting for. Joe Biden even said, if you're having trouble figuring out whether you're voting for me or Trump, then you ain't Black. They made everything Black. So this is the old Black code, right? They made everything about Black. The NAACP, we've told for years, have been about supporting colored people. Abigail Spanberger is, by my eyes, I know we all have melanin, but she has a very small amount. She is like the lily whitest of the white women. She is white womaning better than any other white woman could ever white woman. She is white. Yet the NAACP and one of their Golden Heritage members, L. Louise Lucas, said all skin folk ain't kinfolk, so they're going to do whatever necessary to actually put Abigail, Snow White, in the governor's mansion, proving that it's not about skin color. Never has been, never will be, and it's all about allegiance to the Democrat Party. We realized that this proved it was a checklist of behaviors when it came to being Black. We asked Monday, who gets to be Black in America? Those who check off the list. Those who check off the list. We brought Wilfred Riley in, professor at Kentucky State, help us check off the list. And he told us, some of the things that you had to have to be Black: buffoonery, seen as ghetto, athletic. We went through a whole checklist of what people feel like is Black. So if the Black code is to obey or be erased, then we have to write a new one. Is that correct? Because we're not doing the vote blue no matter who. We're not falling into the line of the Democrat parties. This is obedience disguised as unity. They tell us to not question the movement, but we're questioning the movement today. because it absolutely makes no sense to continue to vote for a party when your values don't align. Now, listen, if you see nothing wrong with abortion for women at any time, by all means, vote for the Democrat Party. If you feel like men can become women, women can become men, children should have their genitals whacked off before they are even old enough to vote, then by all means, vote for the Democrat Party. If you call yourself a Christian, but you see nothing wrong with men laying with men, women laying with women, whatever it is, if your actual values line up with the Democrat Party, then by all means, keep voting for that party or keep voting with that party. I'm not telling you to go against your values. What I am saying is the color of your skin should not outweigh your actual morals and values. You should not hold an allegiance to the color of your skin over your values and your morals and what you believe or deem to be right. And I want you to know that anybody else holding the color of your skin over your head means absolutely nothing. And Barack's latest actions, along with the NAACP endorsing this white woman, shows you that they only try to put your skin color at the top of the list when they want to get what they want from you. It's never been about skin color. It's still not about skin color. It's about behavior. So if you don't want to be grouped with your behavior, with behaviors that don't represent who you really are, that's when it's time to take a step back and say, what am I voting for? Who am I voting for? And do these things line up with my values? We're not going to just continue to support people because of the amount of melanin in their skin. They told us we had to do that for Kamala. We're not doing that today because they aren't doing that today. Winsome Sears is not being supported because of the color of her skin. They are telling us every reason not to vote for her, not caring about the color of her skin. So moving forward, we all need to be on the same page and not focused on the color of skin. Give them a dose of their own medicine, because for once, and a broken clock is right twice a day, for once, they are actually right. It's not about the color of the skin, which is why they aren't getting behind Winsome Sears. Because if it was about the color of the skin, she'd be on every magazine, on every Black blog site, as potentially the first Black woman to become governor in the United States of America. But it's not about color. They're showing you that it's about a particular party. It's about power. That is it. That is all. And unless you absolutely align with the policies the Democrats push, you need to take a step back. And what we have to do is start to pay attention to these unwritten rules that keep the community in mental bondage. Nobody typically comes outright to say, hey, if you have a darker skin tone, you have to vote this way. But we're all clear on the unwritten rule that if you're Black, you should be voting Democrat. If you're gay, you should be voting Democrat. Typically, if you're any type of minority, you should be voting Democrat. Since I've been a child, white people have been painted as white Democrats good, white Republicans bad. So there has been this unwritten rule that if you were Black, you had to vote Democrat. It was always the Democrats coming into the churches. I don't feel no ways tired, says Miss Hillary Clinton. Or she has hot sauce in her bag, as a way to appeal to Black people. And then people will say, oh, well, the Republicans, they don't come because the Republicans don't feel like they need to pander to you according to skin color. They think what they represent, and listen, this is not a campaign for Republicans. I am unaffiliated. But it is a campaign for people to start lining up with their values. And it is a campaign to say, stop letting them jerk you around and pull on your heartstrings and tell you things like, oh, you're going to be put back into slavery if you don't vote for the party that clearly loved slavery nonetheless. But we got to stop letting them jerk us around, because if we don't, they will continue to do it. Unity without truth is just slavery with better marketing. That is exactly what voting Democrat, as Black women do 92% of the time, is unity without truth, which is just slavery with better marketing. I mean, they don't have to force us to do anything now. We willingly do it because we willingly buy into the idea that white Democrat good, white Republican bad. Everything the Democrats represent good, everything the Republicans represent bad. There are many of us as Black people, or those of us with darker skin tone, many of us raised in the church, that still run out to the polls and vote against what we were taught and believed to be right. I don't understand that, but it sounds like skin worship to me. Plain idolatry. It's idolatry. If you're putting your skin color over God, Christians, what you feel, what you learn, what you know to be right, it's idolatry. And it's just slavery with better marketing. Obedience disguised as unity. So what's the cost of freedom? Winsome Sears, Clarence Thomas, as we just watched in the video, Candace Owens, they are all examples of people who paid a price for thinking independently. We have talked before about how when you think differently or away from the group, you're called names. You're called a coon, an Uncle Tom, a traitor. People tell you you hate yourself. I get told all the time, oh, you hate women, or you hate yourself. I don't hate myself. As I've told you before, I hate them ratchet bitches who have a terrible way of carrying themselves and make bad examples for those coming behind us. I don't hate myself. I dislike the way they carry themselves and their behavior. It has nothing to do with their skin color. This is why I also said I was adopting a friend of mine who says, we're not even going to talk about their skin color. Let's call them mutts. Menacing, unruly, thuggish, and thottish. So anybody could be a mutt because it's about the behavior. Menacing, unruly, thuggish, and thottish. And cancel culture is just a modern plantation. Cancel culture is a modern plantation. You can't tell me who I get to vote for. You can't tell me what I get to like and what I don't like. You can't tell me what behavior I have to subscribe to just because I have darker skin. You're not going to tell me that I need to be twerking on the gram, making my butt cheeks clap together simply because I have darker skin. You're not going to tell me I have to be acting unseemly in a restaurant, standing on the table, or even just loud being part of the Bluetooth crowd because I have darker skin. You're not going to tell me that I have to act a certain way to be authentically Black. And if it costs me a few friends, so be it. If it costs me a few family members or not getting invited to the cookout, so be it. There are just certain things that I'm not going to align with, point blank, period. And you don't get to bully me, as Clarence Thomas said. I don't like bullies. You don't get to bully me into having that type of behavior just to fit in, just to be liked, just to be part of the cool kids crowd. Real talk, y'all aren't that cool. And I know you aren't that cool because the moment someone gets a little bit of money, they try and move far away from you cool kids. Black, white, Asian, regardless. If you were that cool, people would be moving to the community to be around all of the coolness. But somehow y'all think y'all have all this swag, all this coolness that is just dripping from you. Yet people don't want to be around you. So then who are really the cool kids? What's really the in crowd? They don't want to sit at your table during lunchtime or any other time. So I won't be bullied into thinking I need to act a certain way to be with the so-called cool kids. Because it's clear it ain't cool. And there's only one certain party that feels like you have to act in a way that is degenerate to be accepted. They only really deal with the elites. The rest of you are just votes. The rest of you are just slaves. They've just figured out better marketing. If you have to figure out whether you are voting for Biden or Trump, then you ain't Black. Somebody should have checked Biden on that, because what does that mean? Especially for someone like myself who looks in the mirror every day and I can see I have a darker skin tone. For L. Louise Lucas, who likes to say all skin folk ain't kin folk, well, what do we have to do to be kin? Vote for the Democrat Party? Is that the criteria for being kinfolk? Voting for the Democrat Party, regardless of whether or not it lines up with our view, with our values? Is that how we become kinfolk? Or is it just being menacing, unruly, thuggish, or thottish? Because nobody questions whether they are authentically Black. I never see someone pointing a gun, playing rap music, pants sagging, bandana, whatever. I never see people in the comments saying, "Coon, Uncle Tom, sell out. You ain't black. You ain't real. You aren't authentic." I never see that in those comments. I never see in the comments someone saying, "I'm going to ostracize myself, not be around you, cast you to the side because of the degenerate behavior." I don't see that in those comments. When I see women on Instagram half naked, making their booty clap, I never see people in the comments saying, "This isn't authentically black. You ain't real. You're a disgrace." I never see that. Which is why I know black people embrace degenerate behavior as being authentically black. You know how many times we see Clarence Thomas called a coon? You know how many times I hear about Thomas Sowell being a sellout? You know how many times I've seen people say Candace Owens don't like black people simply because she can string a sentence together and sound like she has some sense? Yet I can go under Cardi B in her messages, someone who really isn't a black woman, and see nothing but praise. Because black people love and apologize for degenerate, low-class behavior. The bigotry of low expectations. And when someone doesn't subscribe to the low expectations, they're a sellout. When someone doesn't subscribe to the low expectations, they're a coon. When someone doesn't subscribe to the low expectations, you don't want to be bothered with them because they ain't black. So these are unwritten rules that keep the community in mental bondage. We don't have to write them down. It's clear. And we can stop pretending like we don't see it, because we all see it. Anyone with eyes can see this. And anyone with eyes can see that black conservatives have to face a certain level of cancel culture. You'll never see Roland Martin running to the defense of a black conservative. You'll never see Joy Reid running to the defense of a black conservative. In fact, I remember during Trump's first term, when Shemeka Michelle was going to sing at the inauguration, and black people said, "You're going to sing at the inauguration, you're canceled." Shemeka Michelle, from what I could see, carried herself with class and dignity. Shemeka Michelle was never half dressed, making her ass jump on camera. I never saw it. Shemeka Michelle has a beautiful voice. Talented, gifted, but not ratchet. But because she was going to vote, or she was going to sing for a candidate, or now he was the elected president, she was going to sing for someone, and it appeared maybe she had a different mindset. Black people canceled her. Black people would rather have my coochie pink, my booty hole brown over someone as talented as Shemeka Michelle. Black people would rather have artists, two women grinding on the Grammys talking about a wet ass pussy than Shemeka Michelle. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B would never be canceled for dressing half naked, grinding at the Grammys, but Shemeka Michelle can be canceled. Candace Owens can be told she don't like black people. Clarence Thomas can be called a coon. I could be called a sellout. Jason Whitlock can be called an Uncle Tom. But people rapping about bitches, hoes, sex, and violence are authentically black. Do we see a problem with that? They're never canceled. Do we see a problem with that? The cost of real freedom is understanding you will face criticism from your people. And sometimes you may have to walk alone. But as a friend of mine, as the saying goes, I would rather walk alone than with a crowd going in the wrong direction. Going towards elective abortions anytime, no matter the stage of pregnancy, that's the wrong direction for me. Going towards children mutilating their genitals because they're a little confused at 12, 13 years old, that's the wrong direction for me. Going towards a man waking up and saying, I'm going to put on a wig and a dress and be a woman is going in the wrong direction for me. Women thinking some locks and some saggy pants makes them a man and that they can take the place of men and fathers in the home, it's going in the wrong direction for me. So I would rather walk alone than with the crowd walking in the wrong direction. Cancel culture is the modern plantation. So we think slavery is over. Cancel culture is the modern plantation, and Democrats are today's slave masters just with better marketing. Same punishment, different master. Same punishment, different master. They don't have to whip you if they can shame you. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. You know who I love? Who I'm really watching stand 10 toes down? Who put a coat on, zipped it up, put on a scarf, put on a toboggan, some earmuffs, and bundled up for the wind of shame, for the ridicule blowing her way right now? Candace Owens. Let me show you this video here. Let me show you what real courage, how that looks. Let me show you this. Y'all know I have to, it always bothers me that I have to find my own stuff, but I do. Let's see. That is 27, 33. I'm watching her. take all the smoke. Here we go. Listen to Candace Owens.
You're lying about little things about me. Everything Turning Point is doing is wrong. And you know it's wrong. You know it's wrong deep down. And I want to say this because there has been a lot of reading in between the lines. It's strange to me. I think I'm a very direct person and I say what I mean. And I do not want people to mistake what's happening right now or to wrongly assume my intentions here. So allow me to be very explicit, okay? I want war with all of you, okay? All of you. And there's a reason. I'm going to get to that reason in a little bit, but I want war with all of you. So write your articles, issue your statements, email the White House, reach out for comment, okay? Say whatever it is you want to say about me. I want war with all of you. Because I know this isn't right. And there is no way you are going to convince me and the rest of the world that all of this is normal. We're not just going to keep on going and jump into a succession plan. We're going to figure out what the hell happened on September 10th first.
Y'all can say what you want to say about Candace Amber Owens. She is standing 10 toes down, understanding that she may have to walk alone. Now, thank goodness she has a husband, but she's not worried about cancel culture from the left or from the right. Because, you know, the left, they canceled her a long time ago, right? When they thought she didn't like black people, when they said she was a sellout, she was a coon, she was an Uncle Tom, she was always talking about black people. Instead of them focusing on the fact that she was addressing certain behaviors, what seemed like certain values, they just assumed, oh, you know, it's about the black skin. She doesn't like that. She doesn't want to be black. She wants to be white. The left canceled her a long time ago, and now she does not care if the right cancels her. She is saying she would rather walk alone than with the crowd going in the wrong direction. Now, I'm not taking a side on any of her political views, not because I'm scared, just because I don't have all of the knowledge to make a decision on that. You know, I think when you have a really nice bank account, you can focus on some things people like myself with smaller bank accounts can't focus on. I can't focus on foreign countries, you know, with kids in college. I can't focus on foreign countries with bills hanging over my head. You know what I'm saying? So I admire anyone who has the ability to actually just throw themselves behind certain things and not have a care or a worry in the world. I'm just not there yet. But I applaud this woman that in the face of everybody or so many people coming against her, she's not backing down. She's not changing her speech, and she does not care if she has to stand alone. She doesn't care about the cancel culture. And you know what I find funny? I have found this funny ever since, you know, I realized that I fell more on the right than I initially knew that I did. I remember when people would start to follow me, conservatives, they would be so happy. Oh, she off the plantation. That's right. You go, girl. You say what you feel. Say what you mean what you say. They were so excited because to them, I was off the plantation and they encouraged me having the right to speak. They encouraged me understanding that I had the First Amendment right and there was freedom of speech and go girl, you say whatever you need to say. But I also noticed these same people, if I said something they didn't like, all of a sudden it was, oh, I didn't know you felt this way. I'm unfollowing you. Or I didn't know you felt this way. Why would you say that? Or you shouldn't say that. Or how dare you say that? You were just celebrating me being off the plantation. So I love it when people decide you can't shut them up. They're going to be who they are, whether they have a crowd of people agreeing with them or not. And that's the encouragement that I give everybody, especially minorities that feel like they have to line up with the Democrat Party, whether they agree with them or not. Again, if you agree, those are your morals, your values. But if you don't, and I am about to say this specifically to Christians, if you profess Christianity, you better very well make sure that what you are pushing, whether you vote or not, because there are Christians who feel like we shouldn't be in the voting process at all. But you better be sure what you're pushing or standing up for aligns with your values. Do not dare put skin color or skin worship over God. Don't choose a party over God. And that goes for either side. You better make sure it lines up with what you claim you believe. I don't know what you profess. I'm in internet land. But you know what you profess and who you claim to be. You better make sure it's lining up. Please make sure it's lining up. So we have to reclaim our identity beyond skin, beyond politics. I was listening to Jason Whitlock today on Harmony, and he said, I don't identify as a conservative. I identify as a Christian. That means you need to reclaim your identity beyond skin, beyond politics. He's not saying I'm black first. I'm conservative first. I'm a man first. His proclamation is I'm a Christian, which means I'm Jesus first. That's his proclamation. And it's time we get back to identity that goes beyond skin and beyond politics. What would it look like if your identity was based on values, not votes? What would it look like if your identity was based on values, not votes? What would it look like if your identity was based on what you claim to believe as far as religion? Would we be able to tell? Would we be able to see it? Would we, as fruit inspectors, be able to see the good fruit? Or would we be confused? If I walk up to an orange tree today, I'm going to be able to guess it's an orange tree. Because it's all these oranges hanging from the limbs. Same as an apple tree. So if we walked up to your tree today, would the fruit match? Would it be clear? So what would it look like beyond skin, and politics, if it was based on values? Would we see faith? Would we see family, accountability, excellence? We hear so much the term Black excellence. What does Black excellence mean? Why not just want to be excellent? I don't want to be considered Black excellence. And not because I have an issue with darker skin tone. I don't want to be Black excellent because I just want to be excellent. Period. Black excellence to me seems like it's just a small portion. 13% of the population, your excellence in that 13%. No, I just want to be excellent, period. I hate the term Black excellence. I think it's stupid. I don't like the term Black love. I think it's dumb. And honestly, if we look at what we're putting out right now, the decrease in marriage, be it with or without the government certificate, because a lot of people like to throw up, oh, it's more than a piece of paper, and you're right. It's about a posture. And I'm not seeing a bunch of people with the posture of wives, the posture of husbands. So now this Black love that I'm seeing, where y'all jump from bed to bed, person to person, I don't want that either. The Black love is not Black excellence or excellent at all. You're coming up short. You're coming up short. This Black girl magic, what is it? What's the magic? Is it hocus pocus poof, my baby daddy gone? What's the Black girl magic? Poof, I don't have a man. What type of magic are you doing? What's the Black girl magic? Seriously, I'm trying to figure it out. Poof, we raising these kids alone. Poof, they ending up in jail. Poof, they're not graduating. What's the magic? Somebody explain to me, what's this Black girl magic? Because y'all need to go back to the pot and mix up a different brew. Mix up something else, because the spells you're casting around the community with this Black girl magic, it's not good. I don't know what's in the potion, but it ain't coming out with a good result. Y'all adding all this black, blackety black, blacker. It ain't working. Let's push some values to the forefront, some true meaning than the level of melanin in your skin. Let's try pushing that. Let's encourage personal leadership, so then we can encourage leadership on a larger scale. Principles that actually build success historically. Because historically, our ancestors clearly knew they were Black. But you know what they focused on? Overcoming. We shall overcome. And know what they said? It was never we should get blacker. They focused on success. And we always like to focus on the negativity. I hear so much. You know what they did in Tulsa, Oklahoma? They bombed. They tore down the Black communities. Nobody ever talks about how they rebuilt. Our ancestors weren't sitting around whining and complaining all day about being black, or not even if they weren't whining, they weren't focused on black. They were focused on success. That's how after their community was bombed, they rebuilt. Right here in my own city. That's how W.E. Du Bois came through and said, oh, wow, it's a lot of prominent black folks in Durham doing very well, business owners, because they were focused on something other than skin color. They knew they were black. That was a different type of leadership that we have lost. We have lost, and we've allowed groups like BLM and the NAACP to act as if they really cared about other values, when clearly all they cared about was skin color and allegiance to a certain party. And because other people bought into the idea of skin color and allegiance to a certain party, they gave of their own wealth to these people who collected all that money, packed up, and we ain't seen them since. They chucked the deuces out, gone, never pouring into the black community. You can't say you're free if you need permission to think. That's what I love about Candace Amber Owens. As people keep saying she needs to shut up, she needs to stop this, stop that. It's like people are paid. I don't understand what's going on with her. She's crazy. She's not a friend. She's a grifter. And it's not turning her around. She is thinking out loud because she understands she has the freedom to do that. She understands it's freedom over approval. She understands the new black code is freedom over approval. I keep seeing Tiffany online, big influencer. People loved her, started to follow her because she was very pro-Trump. The moment she started asking questions, everybody wants to silence her. Shut up. The new black code, however, is freedom over approval. And for the men, oh my goodness, I'm still applauding the black men who stepped away and voted for Trump in the last election, because they got some kind of hammer, some kind of ridicule for wanting to do something different. And for the people that are constantly saying men ain't shit, men are weak, they stood with a backbone in the face of the shame, the ridicule, and y'all claiming you were on a sex strike. I'm still applauding them for putting freedom over approval. And I'm challenging more men to stop waiting for permission to lead. We talked about previously, you already got permission when you were born with XY chromosomes. You don't got to wait for permission to lead. Keep doing you and keep stepping into leadership roles. Keep stepping and walking into your purpose, men. Because one thing I know for sure, I don't care how loud, how boisterous these women are, how much they feel like they can stand toe to toe with you. unless they're lesbians or unless they never want to procreate, you're needed. And they will follow you. When men stand firm and they stand strong, the culture will follow. And when you have standards, now you can't be out here talking about you strong and leading and bowing to, the sexy red types. That's not how you build a family and build wealth. The new black code, freedom over approval. Remember, guys, we are free. You are free to think. You're free to live. You're free to be who you are, not who you pretend to be. Free to be who you are, who God created you to be. Let me see what y'all are chatting about in the chat. Hi, Earl Grey the Bay. My husband is the only conservative in his family. In every event, he was attacked for his ideology, but he stands his ground like a champ. Absolutely. Earl Grey the Bay is letting you know it's the new black code is freedom over approval. Stimulated students. People are too cowardly to go against consensus. I get a lot of disapproval from Christians because I don't believe what's being passed down to me. I found my faith when reading the scriptures. Here we go. And the rest of that is, I came to my own conclusions. Many things people hold as truth is error. The disappointing part is people too scared to engage in discourse. It's cowardly. Sharice is reminding you all to like, share, and subscribe. And she's saying hello to all the new head shakers. We appreciate you joining the family because, look around. We got a lot to shake our head about. The Ron Edwards American Experience. A lot of the Black excellence and Black lover I have witnessed is neither true love or excellence. Thank you for speaking the intelligent truth on these two topics. Black girl magic is a form of witchcraft, in my opinion. Thank you, the Ron Edwards American Experience. Miguel says, I don't get involved with these worldly organizations either. Hi, Carolyn. Thank you for being here today. Carolyn says, I pray over my ballot. I vote my conscience. I investigate all of the candidates. Whoever aligns with my values and beliefs will get my vote. Absolutely. Yeah, I can't just blindly go in voting. And I used to do that so much. Here, there's a group called the Committee on Black Affairs or something. Been around for like 90 years. Yet I am not seeing Black people progress or move forward here in this city. Well, who's on the ballot? Who are y'all putting in office? And why can't I see the fruit of y'all knowing what you're talking about? It's looking to me like you have no clue what you're talking about. And I understand that here in Durham, you're in cahoots with the NAACP. Y'all are like partners. And it's not working out. Melina says, I don't like Black girl magic because that insinuates that Black girls got some kind of sorcery going on. Stimulated student said, I hated that term, Black girl magic. It was either Black magic or Black girl tragic. Earl Grey Bay says, perfect love over Black love. Ron Edwards says, any Christian who believes Christians should not vote or be involved in the affairs of our republic are either deceivers or are themselves deceived. God told us to occupy until he returns. to be lights in this dark world. In the past, men of God were kings and held other government positions. Yeah, I'm going to always go to the polls. Get to the polls. I'm sorry. I did a video. That's how the Democrats talk to black people. They always trying to scare you into voting, right? We're going to be back in chains. Get to the polls, niggas. Get to the polls. That's how they treat us. Melina says, I don't like black love either because black people are not good examples when it comes to relationships. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of stuff that's just not adding up with the whole pushing the black stuff. Let's let our standards raise a bit. Let's be good examples like those that came before us, and then I might not have such an aversion to it. Because we used to have some good examples. Now we're just going down. I'm going down. That's what Earl Grey to Bay. Oh, Jack, she's being a rebel. Oh, who? Jack. I'm sorry. This is I have a sister that claims to be liberal. She's not really, but she chooses party over country and people. It's really scary and sad. Yeah, a lot of them do. People that buy into that whole I gotta stay with the same party regardless of how they feel. William Graves, thank you for being here today. James O'Bannon, thank you. I think you're talking about me. You're very cute. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Earl Grey to Bay, okay hair. This style isn't the standard that Michelle Obama was talking about, right? And Earl Grey to Bay, on Monday, I had it all out. Yesterday, I had it out. But today, I said, the rain wasn't my friend. So I had to put it away a bit. Plus, I didn't feel like dealing with it. Earl Grey to Bay says, we only know Chrisette for her voice and class as it should be. Hi, Alicia. Thank you for being here. The media exercises their power to silence people who talk and think like you while putting a spotlight on people that misrepresent our community. I agree. Hi, Husker77. Thank you all for being here today. Before we leave, I don't know if I saved that Earl Grey to Bay, that Michelle Obama. Let me see if I saved it so we can share in Michelle's foolishness. Let's see. We should probably do a show on this. Earl Grey, I'm glad you showed some interest. I'm going to replay this. We're going to do a show on this because it's annoying to me. It really is. We're going to play this and then we're going to get out of here because it is 3:04. Share screen. Now we're calling a spade, plain idolatry. Hi, Gnostic Phoenix. Thank you for being here today. All right, let's play this.
As women of color, that the way our hair naturally grows out of our head is beautiful. But if we struggle to make it look like the standard, that means we are spending thousands of hours and lots of money straightening out what is naturally curly hair, right? And that takes time out of your life. It costs money. Hair as women of color, that's women of color.
I don't know. This annoys me, and I actually, as you all can see, I said to Michelle, standard What standard? Because this is the standard for me. And I have gone on Fox News with an afro, Newsmax with an afro. These are the places that people would say, oh, they're white supremacists. Yet I have never been ridiculed by these white people for needing to meet a standard. If anybody says something about my hair, it's somebody black, like, our friend Jesse Lee Peterson, who had something to say about my afro. But I've never had to feel like I needed to meet a standard being in conservative circles. And you would think with white Republicans bad, that's where I would get the ridicule. If they do it behind my back, which is the best place to do it. I'm just me, and I never get criticized for it ever. Like nobody said, we would love to have you on Fox News again, but you got to put that afro away. I've never been told that. Nicholas says if she want to be nappy headed, just say that. Shemeka and other beautiful women rock the fro flawlessly. Just another nothing to cry race about. Absolutely. She's always a victim, and it's so annoying. Jack, did I say hello to you today? Mac Daddy, hello. She is definitely another race baiter like Ryan Clark. It's annoying. Stimulated student. Jesse Lee isn't a serious person at all. I don't know why people like him aside from entertainment. Yes. Stop, Shemeka. Jesse is the GOAT. I'm gonna play for you, Earl Grey Bay. As a matter of fact, you're natural, Earl Grey Bay. Let's do a natural hair forum and talk about this. All right. I'm getting ready to go. I love y'all. Remember, today is our Friday. I won't be here tomorrow. I'll be preparing for Monday and everything that I'll have to deal with over the weekend, everything that causes me to shake my head. I will be back Monday, same place, same time. Oh, before I go, we have a special guest next week. We will be sitting and talking to someone that made me shake my head and put me in a position to shake my head even more. Mr. Jason L. Whitlock will be with us next week. Right now, he's scheduled for next Thursday. What do y'all want me to talk to Jason about? Drop it in the chat really quickly. We have Jake, because I want to start to work on it this weekend and kind of prepare. So again, we're going to have Jason Whitlock with us next week. Drop in the chat what you would like for me to talk to Jason about. Melina says Shemeka Fridays alone without head shakers. I know. It just helps me get some things done. I can go visit my grandma, she's 91. And I went out of town this past weekend. And so she's already fussing that she hasn't seen me since I came back in town. So that's where I get to do it kind of like on Fridays. But this week she's having some type of breakfast at church. So we're going to breakfast Saturday morning. Ooh, I hope it's good. Let's see what y'all put in for Jason. Melina says, ask Jason why he's not married. Of course. Uh-oh. Nicholas says, ask Jason, has he been delivered from his snow addiction? I am delivered. Oh, good stuff. Earl Grey the Bay says, everybody wants to know about the snow bunnies. Sharisa says, does Jason like black women yet? Yes. Oh, this is going to be good. I can't wait. Stimulated student says Jason is a bit rigid. That's why he's not married. Jack Burton, I remember when he was on that panel with other players in ESPN, I noticed he was always the objective one, and I wonder when he knew it was time to leave the show. I'm going to ask him that. When did you know it was time to leave ESPN? I could come back and get in my notes then, but you know. Yes, it is important for me to go see grandma. Ask Jason why he keeps hawking that hemp crap relief factor with Blue Chews and Aces bourbon with preborn. Oh, okay. Why he is pushing the Blue Chews and coupling Aces bourbon with preborn. Oh, y'all are hilarious. And I would definitely tell my grandmother, hi, what happened that made him turn to Christ? Good stuff, y'all. You can give me more stuff next week, but I just wanted something to kind of start to work on this weekend. Sharisa wants to know, why does he blow his nose on live TV? Ask Jason what happened to his studio. Okay, we will get into all of that. Someone says, ask Jason about how weak men are ruining the country. I laid my pen down that fast. Oh, there we go. Weak men. Weak men. I feel like when Vivian called Kit and she said, reach, Bev, Will. All right, y'all. I see y'all. That's from Pretty Woman if you don't know. Love you. Have a great weekend. See you Monday. Peace.